Hi everyone, Lady Botcher, Angela here with a face-up video of Yidu again for the second time. So let's get into it. First off, this is her old face-up. There are things I liked about it, some I didn't, but I just took some 100% acetone and I did half of her face just to see what it'll look like again underneath. And yeah, it took a little bit, but it was okay. So here's half and half. Even blank, I think it looks a lot better. So here are the materials. I have my brushes, I have Himi gouache, I have some old eyeshadow, some Mungyo pastel, and Prima watercolors. I have some kneaded erasers and my pencils, Derwent and Faber-Castell, depending on which ones I like the best. So all I'm doing is I'm just giving her the waterline here, and it does take a while. I did cut out a lot of stuff here in the video, just, you know, multiple layers, just layer upon layer upon layer of the same thing over and over again. And you can see here her waterline. I wanted to be pink this time. Some of it is a little black for eyeliner, but I sketched in her eyes and her eyeliner with a tan. I think it's terracotta first, just because I wanted to go in kind of with more of a plan this time around. Just the eyelashes last time, the eyebrows last time just were not as good. So I wanted to try some new techniques this time, and I think it turned out okay. So it's not bad, but it's not like the greatest. So there's some color choices that I didn't care for, powder or chalk wise, but here I am. I'm just, you know, sketching in the eyelash and the eye creases. I did have more creases in and around her eyes, just because I thought it was really cool, but a bit more realistic. And this time I didn't give her a lot of facial texture. I didn't give her freckles at all either, and I think I like it for her character. I think it's a bit more suitable. So here I am just putting on some chalk pastel to her lips, and I kind of give that sort of heart-shaped kiss look to her lips. So mainly it's like the bottom lip, and then you do the creases in the top lip to give it a little bit more oomph or definition. So yes, I do use that brush just to get all the chalk pastel that's been flung everywhere and any hairs or anything, and it kind of just brushes right off. So we are still in layer 1, so I've already sprayed her with MSC once, and this is probably the one choice that I kind of regret, is putting really, really dark eyeshadow or skin pigment near the creases of her eyes, or the inner corners of her eyes. Kind of makes her look really sleepy, which, I mean, she deals with cosmology and stuff like that, so I mean, she wouldn't get sleep at night anyway. But you know, some people may not know the character and see that, but that's okay. I did cut out a lot of my mistakes and me brushing off powder that's been flung everywhere. I really did try very hard to keep the powder and stuff in the area that it's supposed to be at. So yeah, that was really great. So now I'm just kind of sketching in the eyebrows where I want them. Again, this is still layer 1. I'm still working from this layer. I did probably about 4 or 5 layers altogether. So how I wanted the eyebrows this time was a little bit softer, just a few hairlines here and there. I really liked on Instagram, I saw these like stylized eyebrows where it's mainly some pastel and just a few hairlines to give it the idea of eyebrows, and that's kind of what I went for. And yes, this is not the first time I did these. I did these probably about 4 or 5 times. No joke. So I wiped them off, did them again, wiped them off, did them again. And that's not the first time either. So I put down the pastel and then I sealed it. And then I went over it a little bit later on with some watercolor to get the fine hairs in it. And that also took me about 4 or 5 times. I'm still working, guys. I'm still working on this. I like to make sure that I'm doing the technique right and that I'm not just kind of throwing it together like I did before. So yes, it did take me a little while, and the eyebrows are still not the same. They are not. One is bigger than the other, but you'd have to look really up close, and right now I'm okay with that. I will probably change her face so many times as I get better and better. So, practice makes perfect. And here I have the blue pencil that I use to make very thin, veiny lines around the temple and the side of the face. I really enjoy that. I don't know what it is. I think it looks a lot more realistic. And I know Jackie O on YouTube, she does this, and I love it. I love the technique and just how it gives that kind of realistic look. So here I am. I've sealed this, and now I'm taking the black and basically just going over my sketch lines. And yes, this does take forever. This is sped up, and it's just took so long. It took forever. So I had to cut a lot of it out because I just took forever to do it. It's one of those things where you don't want to mess up right in the middle of a face up, and it just takes you a little bit longer to do, and which is fine. I'd rather take my time than not, and then mess up and then have to start all over again, which has happened as well. It's happened. And yeah, the kneaded eraser works sometimes, especially with like the chalk pastels or the pastels themselves, that the pencils, it does not really work unless you scrub really hard, and then at that point it doesn't really take the pencil afterwards. So I find that just a white eraser on a pencil, not like the regular school pencil or anything with the pink eraser. The pink eraser is crap. It doesn't work, at least not for me. So I just use a white pencil eraser, and it usually does the trick in a few swipes. So, and it doesn't hinder the sealant underneath to redo the line. So here I am. I'm just plugging away and just getting in that eyeliner to make it look pretty good. So I will let you guys keep on watching, and I will be back. Okay, so now that the eyeliner is done, I'm going to shadow with some black, and I hate the brush doing this. It flings the black shadow pastel everywhere other than where I want it. So I did get frustrated at this little brush here. I'm not sure what I was doing, if it was the angle or something like that. It was probably, you know, technical error on my part. So I just grabbed a cotton swab and it actually did the trick. It did have a little bit of fallout, but it wasn't as much as the other, and so it didn't smear as much on my face up. So here I am just going over the lines again, and I did this plus the lips, plus the eyebrows, plus the eyeliner and shadow and everything. Probably 3 more times. I layered up 3 more times after this. So I'm just creating the eye creases that I wanted for her, and I wanted her to have almost like a monolid, but I gave her a couple more creases just to be more realistic. So I took my Primacolor watercolor in black, and I'm going to be doing her eyelashes and her eyebrows in this. And I've already tried Himi and it didn't work out just because I just can't get the consistency right. So here I am, I'm trying, this is probably my 3rd attempt on each eye to try and get the eyelashes the way I want. I wanted them to, instead of be straight and very thin and watery, I wanted them to be a little bit bolder and a little bit more curved outward. So again, this is probably my 3rd attempt, and I liked the one on the right, but again, I went overboard on the left, so I had to restart the left over again. C'est la vie. So here I am trying again, and yes, the dark black color kind of stayed on there, so I had to do it again. And yes, it did take me a while. So I will be doing this with the eyebrows as well. Unfortunately, I can't do it all in one go because I just didn't like how the shape was turning out, or, you know, the consistency wasn't right, or something. So it's always something. So once you get that one good line, you want to leave it, but then all the other lines have to be right too before the whole thing can stay. So that's kind of what I did. I'm just debating if I want to redo it again, but I think that this will be all right. They're not supposed to be super even or, you know, the same, but yes, this is where I do start the eyebrows, and this is probably my 5th attempt. I cut out all the other attempts because it would have taken too long. I had over an hour's worth of footage, and I had to cut it down to about 16 minutes or so. But I do like the end result. I did probably about 7 strokes each or so. It looks like I do more, but there's nothing on the brush, so I'm trying to kind of do some very, very thin, almost invisible lines with those, but I don't really count those. It's the bolder ones that are about 7 of them. But yeah, I actually like how they ended up. And I know that I'll get better at them, and I may change the shape up next time too. Who knows? So yeah, see, I have to redo this one just because it got messed up. But here is the end result. Here are her new eyes for now. I may make some new ones for her, but I do like how it turned out. The eyebrows are a little bit different, yes, but I'm okay with that. So this is how she turned out, and I like the eyelashes a lot better, and thanks for watching.